Hey guys, welcome to another news breakdown here on Sotopop. Hey guys, as always, I'm your host Frozen Stratos, and today, Soto is starting us off right with some 0-1 news. Or are they? That's right, we're actually diving right on in to Kamen Rider Build for once, for a change. And, we got Perfect Kingdom! We got Grease Perfect Kingdom, and this lines right up with the release of the movie on DVD for the general masses to see. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know, I kind of forgot the movie came out, so this blindsided me, and I'm very excited. Certain things to note here are that we didn't get confirmation whether or not this is premium or a featuring build situation where it's going to show up at retail with 0-1, but I've got some speculation on that. But this mold is looking very accurate. Whether or not you like the colors is up to you. I'm just saying it's represented very well and accurately. The accessory that it comes with is the dog tag, and it seems like a simple peg that you use because it pegs into the back of the hand and the front of the hand, you know, as you can see in both of these pictures, and that looks really good. And on the subject of how this is going to be released, when you get to the episode of the Sotopop podcast tomorrow, I spoke to my buddies Malunas and Josh had a speculative answer to if this is going to be premium or not. And note the background. It has the black background with a spotlight on it, and we have only ever seen those with premium Bandai releases, and I'm kind of inclined to believe him. I didn't, fact check him because I don't want to go back and look at all those posts, but that does seem to line up, at least in my mind's eye. So that might be leaning toward a premium release. So I don't know. I'm a little disappointed, but then again, I can't be too mad at a premium release from a figure line that was 2 years ago. I'm just happy he exists. The blog did note that we will be getting more from him soon. I'm hoping next week. I'm thinking next week. But that's yet to be seen. So, yeah, definitely looking forward to him. Alright, next up we've got Kamen Rider 0-1 stuff. And no new figure news, mostly like line-wide changes news, which are actually really intriguing. So let's just plow right through these. They have a multitude of points that I decided to ignore the numbering of and just sort of go in that order, but not give you the number. I don't know. We'll do it. So everything in these first few leads back to this image. And we're going to be seeing it like 3 different times. So this first image over on the side, it's pointing out the feet, which means, they point it out because they actually tilt a little more. You can get a bit more spread out of it. And this change was made during the Another One figures. So that's neat that they brought it on over. Next up, we've got the inner thigh. Now, as you can see in the top picture, it looks like 0-1 is able to, I guess, compress his legs in higher than Geo, and that's because they sort of digitally carved away, because I'm assuming they do this digitally and then, make these molds. So, take out material from the thigh and the thigh armor in order to achieve this bend, which is really cool. I really like it. I definitely appreciate more range of motion, though it's yet to be seen if it's as meaningful as the blog is pointing out. I'm just glad that they, acknowledged it just so that we're aware of it, and I just appreciate that I'm able to appreciate the changes made. So just putting that in front of you. Now, this next one, a little weird, and it's kind of not really extra articulation-y stuff. It's just that if you look close enough, you can tell that the leg joint is unseated from the leg a little bit, like the peg in the upper thigh. And that's because it is, and you can do that, and it gives you a lot, maybe not a lot more range of motion, but it moves the thigh armor out of the way so that you can compress that area a little more, or you can dismember your 0-1. Does that mean he's a human gear? Who knows? Probably not. It just means the toy can do it. And they did want to note that the thing they're doing here with the arms probably don't do that. It's not really built for that, and they are a little flimsier. Like the pegs are a little flimsier, so don't try it. I mean, you can, just, you know, be careful. And then also, they wanted to note that this was a 0-1 specific situation. Like, the next few figures, like Vulcan or Valkyrie, they're probably not going to have this happening. So, you know, dismember 0-1 all you want, because no one else is going to do it. Anyways, next up, they wanted to note that they shaved off a little bit of the shoulder peg, or like shoulder joint, just so that it makes it easier for you to plug in the shoulder armor. Now, I personally had no problem with how Geo was able to do it, but I'd assume that, you know, the Geo stuff has more surface area, so you can peg it down easier, but 0-1 only has that smaller little shoulder armor, and I suppose it was a lot harder with the smaller armor bits on the shoulders, so that might be what that's for. Next up, not really figure stuff anymore. They didn't show us the stand earlier, and now they have, and they've made some drastic changes to it. So first off is the display base, and there are a lot of things to soak in here. First up, they wanted to note that there are handy holes in the stand, and they said that these are for later if they end up making different looking hands, which is neat. And then there is a mysterious hole, like, adjacent to the foot peg. We don't know in this vlog what that's for. It might be for something. It might just be like a relief for the molding, so, to let the, I don't know, material flood in faster. I don't know what that's for. 100% no idea what that's for. But I know what these thingies are for. You can connect the bases together and sort of, you know, build a little base. Now, they said they wanted to make these bigger changes just because they used them for Shodo and Yudo, and like Shodo Chronicle, and like they basically use it everywhere. And I feel like this is really more of a Yudo thing, which is nice. But obviously, like, they are hexagonal, so it really works out this little configuration. Like, I do that with my display bases already, and Malunas has said he does too. So this is really cool to see. Also, slight change. They're going to be making the easiest sticker a lot easier because it has more surface area now. And on top of that, they said something about, and Malunas told me about this on the Soda Pop podcast, so definitely listen to that tomorrow, that the names are going to be a lot bigger this time around, so they wanted that little extra real estate. So I get it. It's fine. I'm all for it if they need to make it happen. And this, since it is, they made this change for the display base that everyone's going to use, I feel like this is going to be a line-wide change. I just hope that the Kamen Rider double ones remain the old ones for a little bit, just because, you know, I want that uniformity. But if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. Anyway, armature. Let's talk about that, because they haven't yet until today, and they've got some updates. Apparently, people didn't understand that the two holes on the upper side of the armature were for the right and left hand, because people got confused putting them in. Like, the right and left hands do have different peg sizes, so people were plugging them into the wrong ones and being like, oh hey, this doesn't work. And they're tight fits, so maybe they thought, oh man, I don't want to force it. But they clearly emblazoned on there, like on the inside of there, they etched it in an R and L so that you can, you know, figure out which to put where. So that's cute. I personally never had that problem, but on 2 occasions, 2 of the friends that I asked, both said that they keep their accessories in baggies, so they had no idea that that's what those holes were for. So if that's your first time hearing about this, well, congratulations. There you go. Have a good time. Alright, next up for the armature, you got that little top nibbon, the one that plugs into the belt. Well, it now has more range of motion. The first one could only get like 45 degrees, but here you get an entire 180? Is that 180 or is half? Whole thing is 360. Yeah, 180. You get a 180, little over 180 situation here. And basically that leads to also the armature is able to angle itself a lot more. So that's cool. Anyway, that allows you, all that combined allows you to do a lot of fun things that I'm really excited about. They definitely loved using that peg for the foothold, which again you can do if you didn't know that. So yeah, I'm just really excited for this display base. Like, even when they can't push the body articulation too much, they do their best and then like make the improvements elsewhere. This is a really neat change. Really happy about it. Really excited for this stuff. I think that's it. Let's see what this next slide is about. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So the box, they made. So this is about the changes to the box. The box itself is going to have a larger like contents image, just so that people don't get as confused, I guess, which is fine, because I have had the problem where, you know, if I'm asking someone to possibly pick this up in Japan, they've had a hard time finding, you know, the exact one that I want, and I think this may or may not make it easier. Who knows? And then also, let's talk about the inside of the packaging. And yes, we are talking about the most boring part of a toy, the inside of the package with the instructions. Now, if you don't know what's changed, do you guys remember the, and I called this the how to put together your pre-built action figure portion of the instructions? Well, they did away with that, because why would you need to know how to put the toy together since it's already done? So what they did was that they basically made more room for the sticker instructions, and they've like slightly, you know, they've done that shading to the stickers on the instructions just to make it easier to see, and that's so welcome. Like, it's bigger, it's better. Like, again, the improvements here are, they just make so much sense, and I don't know, I'm really happy to see them. But on the topic of changes that just make sense, let's take a look at sort of the distribution of the figures in the box. I think it's the next slide. No! Oh wait, yes. Let's talk about the body. And then that leads into this. So they said, and they said it twice, so you know it's important. They said that anytime you buy a box, you will get the proper amount of armors and bodies. The proper amount of armors and bodies. The ratio is going to be perfect. You will no longer have too many armors per body. This is a godsend. And not only that, they're going to make a change to the sets, because, you know, I have been collecting Shodo this whole time, and I've been buying sets mostly. Even the boxes didn't come with enough stuff, but I've been buying the sets because, you know, I'm cheap. And now they're going to be renaming them. They're going to be called complete sets, because if you buy a set, you can rest assured you have enough in there to finish those figures. if that makes sense. And I know that Geo, they wrote themselves into a corner by like making the entire line-wide thing that, you know, you can swap between the bodies so he won't give you extra bodies. But now they've remedied the problem. Technically they made it themselves, but I feel like that was financially the only thing they could do to get those other figures out. But now they are guaranteeing you the proper experiences with sets. So guys, just buy the sets and rest assured that you don't have to go to Mandarake and buy extra stuff. This is the update that I was excited to see. I'm so happy with this. Definitely happy. And I can gush about this as much as I want, but they ended off with a final note, and it's pretty cute. Turns out 01's belt size is the exact same one as Decade's and Build's, so you can actually fit their drivers in there to make their proper forms. The Decade 01 form and the Build 01 form. Because Build's, that's how Build's bottles work. They turned you into the rider and not like two halves of an armor. And this only, you know, they only highlighted this because Geo wasn't able to do this. Like, Geo's belt hole did not fit Decade or Build's belt. So, yeah, there you go. Super excited for that. But that's not all we got. We got, since, you know, Soto Chronicle Den-O came out recently, like 2 came out recently, they reviewed that a little bit. I'm just gonna hit the most important points because, like, we've seen these figures before. So, basically, you know, these are your guys. The wings for Climax form or Cho Climax form, that's going to be on a ball joint, so you can move that around and wiggle it about however you please. It definitely helps getting in the way of, or getting out of the way of the stand. Next up, we've got sort of a soft confirmation, like another soft confirmation, saying that the body here, like the main body that was given out in Den-O Chronicle 1, that's just your platform. Like, it seems that a platform isn't really coming, and this is gonna be your one. They didn't, like, say it, but all the pictures are sort of leaning toward it. It's the only one. So, a little disappointing. And then also, just quickly, the liner form sword can spin around, which only makes sense because why wouldn't you put that on a peg? Anyway, so that's happening. And lastly, we end on some combo change news, kinda. It was just a tease, but we get silhouettes for Gatakiri Ba, Sagozo, and Latarata, as well as the initial image of O's. Hopefully they have these in hand to show off for us. Otherwise, we'll just be getting some production images, which, you know, gives me some expectations for the next Soto update, because we're going to have potentially some build stuff, potentially some O's stuff, and hopefully a new character for 01 to fill out that AI1 set that I'm super excited for. And yeah, that's it for Soto news, but we have a tiny bit of Ryusoulger news. Again, co-host of Soto Pop Podcast, Josh Perry, was able to find this tweet from Tavion Jackson, and he had a listing. He found a listing for Yudo set, or Yudo Box 3. The listing has it as 12 figures, or at least 12 boxes, and we see, you know, Ryusoulger Red and the grunts of the series in this box, which is neat. I don't know, there's not too much information so far. We're in a bit of a drought, but it's neat to see that we're getting these guys. It was kind of obvious, just because, you know, Sentai doesn't really have as many, like, figures to make as say a Kamen Rider series does, so Yudo would have to dip in to the grunts, which is not bad. I definitely do appreciate getting to see these guys, but I think the biggest move would be to say, oh hey, and also we're doing a set 4 because Lupat never got to it. I hope these are doing well. Please go out and support these. Or not, I don't know. I don't want to tell you what to do. Anyway, these are great. I can't wait for these. A little bit important to note that the grunts are part 3, like number 3 in the set, and then Ryusoulger is part 1. There must be something underwhelming in between the two, and then just, the rest of the set. I'm assuming it's a bunch of armors, and then, like, armor mode for the Red Ranger. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, yeah, that's about it for all the Soto, Shoto, and Yudo news this week. So, guys, if you like this episode, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought about this episode, and don't forget that the Soto Pop podcast will be up tomorrow, so look forward to that every single Monday, and just stay tuned to this channel, trying to bring you guys more stuff to watch here, and yeah, that's about it, guys. Oh, the Twitter, look at the Twitter, it's a good time. You get these updates a little quicker. Guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.